Hello everyone. So in last video we have seen the important parts of the Indian constitutions. Now in this video we are going to see some important articles of the Indian constitutions and try to take a brief overview of each of those important articles. And look, if you want to memorize this, and one thing which I want to say is that all the articles which is given in Laxmikant in this chapter number 4 is very important and very crucial for any examinations. Okay, so you have need to remember each and every one article which is given here, especially if you are preparing for the state public service commissions. Of course this is not going to ask directly in UPSC, but no one can say that okay, UPSC can do anything whatever they want. But still many questions are asked in UPSC as well, in which they are demanding from you that you have a brief overview of these articles, at least the number of articles. Okay, matlab what subject matter under which articles. Okay, some question demanded. Okay, so if you don't have the idea of these articles, you will not be able to deal with this type of question. Okay, so let's begin with the article number 1. So article number 1 says name and territory of union. Okay, and then next important article is article number 3, which says the formation of new state and alteration of area boundary and or name of existing state. Okay, so here basically if anyone going to ask you in which parts this article 1 and 3 mentions, so what will you will say, you will say this is mentioned in article, this is mentioned in part 1. Part 1 is from 1 to 4. Okay, and then the next articles, article 13, that is law inconsistent with or in derogation of fundamental rights are declared as a null and void. Okay, so this is also an important article which you have need to remember, but don't worry, you will see these articles in upcoming classes. Okay, and you will have, I am assuring that after completing these lectures you will be able to, at least you will be in better position compared to many other peoples. Okay, so remember this one. So article number 13 is law inconsistent with or in derogation of fundamental rights are declared as null and void. Article 14, equality before law. Okay, article 15, prohibition of discrimination on ground of religion, race, caste, sex or place of birth. Article 16, equality of opportunity in matter of public employment. Article 17, abolition of untouchability. Article 19, protection of certain rights regarding freedom of speech, expression, belief, faith, and etc. Not this is speech. Okay, assembly, associations, reside. Okay, etc. These are present under Article 19. Okay, then 21, protection of life and personal liberty. Article 21A, right to elementary education. Article 25, freedom of conscience, free profession, practice and propagation of religions. Article 30, right of minority to establish and administer educational institution of their choice. Article 32, remedies for enforcement of fundamental rights, including writs of habeas corpus, mandamus, provisions, certiorari, querendo, etc. Okay. Article 38, state to secure social order for promotion of welfare of the peoples. Article 40, organization of village panchayat. Okay. Article 44, uniform civil code for the citizens. Article 45, provision for early childhood care and education to the children below the age of 6 years. Okay. Article 46 says promotion of education and economic interest of scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and other weaker sections. Article 50, separation of judiciary from executives. Article 51, promotion of internal peace and security. Article 51A, fundamental duties. Article 72. Now, the 72 is power of president to grant pardon, respite, deprive, etc., and to suspend, remit, commute sentence in certain cases. Okay, Article 74, Council of Ministers to add and advise the President. Article 110, definition of money bills. Article 112, annual financial statement. Okay, that means budget. And here I think Laxmikant missed two important article, that is Article 117 I think will be the most important here, which these parts I have missed, have which Laxmikant missed. Okay, so Article 123, power of President to promulgate ordinance during recess of Parliament. Okay, and you will be remember if you are following this lecture from first class, Article 123 was from which Government of India Act? So 1935. I hope you remember. Article 143, power of President to consult Supreme Court. Okay, so consultative powers, and I hope you will be remember third judge case. Okay, in actually I have not told you till now, so we will see in upcoming classes, especially in judiciary. Okay, so we will see this. Article 155, appointment of governor from by the centers. Article 161, power of governor to grant pardon, suspend, remit, or commute sentence in certain cases. So it is basically similar to the article number 120, similar to the article number 72. Okay, which deals with presidents. Article 163, council of ministers to aid and advise the governor. Article 169, abolition or creation of legislative council in state. You will see this the whole process in upcoming classes. Okay, Article 200, assent to bill by governor including reservation for president. Article 213, power of governor to promulgate ordinance during recess of the state legislature, exactly same as 123. Article 226, power of high court to issue certain writs, exactly same as Article 32. Okay, and we will also see the power, the area. Okay, the we can say that the which high court or supreme courts, which one have broader uh, writ issuing power. Okay, so we will also see this. Article 239 AA, which is special provision with respect to Delhi. I hope you will remember. AB also. Okay, Article 249, power of parliament to legislate with respect to a matter in state list in a national interest. Okay, so basically some matters are mentioned on which a parliament can legislate on the state list as well. Okay, and we have mentioned 4 to 5 condition I think, which is mentioned on which deals under Article 249. Then 262, education of dispute relating to relating to water of interstate river or river valleys. Okay, Article 206, 263, very important provision with respect to an interstate councils. Okay, and here also zonal councils, the articles of zonal council also missed. Okay, Article 275, grant from the union to certain state. Article 279A, good and service tax council. Article 280, finance commission, which are one of the important. Okay, Article 300, suit and proceedings. Article 300A, person not to be deprived of property save by authority of law, right to property. Okay, it is also one of the important. Right to property is constitutional right or legal rights. Okay, so initially it was fundamental right, but later on it was removed. Article 311, dismissal, removal, or reduction in rank of person employing civil capacity under the union or state. Okay, Article 312, all India services, you will be aware. Article 315, public service commission for union and for the state. So UPSC and state PSC, it is deal under Article 315, but all India services is deal under Article 312. So basically second one is related to the institutions, first one is related to the services. Okay, Article 320, function of public service commissions. Article 323A, administrative tribunals. Okay, I hope you all will remember. This was added through the 42nd constitution amendment. Okay, I think as much I have remember this one. Okay, Article 324, superintendent direction and control of election to be vested in election commissions. Article 330, reservation of seat for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe in the House of Peoples. This is very important according to the current situations. Article 335, claim of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe to services and post. Article 352, proclamation of national emergency, important one. Article 356, provision in case of failure of constitutional machinery in the state, president rules. Okay, I hope you will remember uh, that in two conditions the president rule is promulgated within the state, which is this under the article number 355 and 365. Okay, then 360, provision as to financial emergency. 365, effect of failure to comply with or to give effect to direction given by union, president rules. Okay, the ground of president rule under article 365. 368, power of parliament to amend the constitution and procedure thereof, part 20. Okay, now we are also going to discuss the schedules of the which is mentioned in our constitutions. So we have total how many schedules? We have 12 schedules, and now we are going to see this one by one. So the first schedule, so I have a formula, I have a mnemonics basically to remember these ones. So the mnemonics is tears of old films, that is TEARS, ठीक है, OF of OLD old PM. Okay, so started from T. So T means territory of India. So the first schedule deal with names of the state and territorial jurisdictions. Which articles under this schedule covers? So article from 1 to 4 is covered under this one. Okay, the second, the first schedules, the second is names of the union territories and their extent. Okay, the second schedule deals with look, tiers, TE, ठीक है. तो emolument, basically second one is deal with emolument, allowance, privilege and so on. Okay, so basically salary etc. So which one of the following persons are going to cover under this second schedule? So remember, the president of India, governor of a state, speaker and deputy speaker of the Lok Sabha, chairman and deputy chairman of Rajya Sabha, speaker and deputy speaker of the legislative assembly, chairman and deputy chairman of legislative council, the judge of the Supreme Court, the judge of the high courts, the controller and auditor general of India. So all those persons who needs independency in their work. Okay, so such person, all such persons salary are mentioned here, like president. So you have to remember the nominal head of the in this way, that the nominal head of the union government, president, the nominal head of the state government, governor, then impartial post, certain impartial post like speaker and deputy speaker. Okay, chairman and deputy chairman of center, and then speaker and deputy speaker of state, again impartial one, chairman and deputy chairman of the legislative councils of state, judge of Supreme Court, needed to be very impartial, judge of the high court. Okay, and controller and auditor general of India, basically the guardian of public purse. The third schedule, TEA. Now A, so third schedule is affirmation and oath and R affirmation बोल सकते हैं इसे. Okay, so which one of the following person are deals in the third schedule? So the union ministers, first thing, candidate for the election to the parliaments. Even those persons have need to take oath or affirmations who are going to become a candidate for the election to the parliament. Then member of parliament, those who are going to be chosen by these elections, and then judge of the Supreme Court, controller and auditor general of India. Okay, then state ministers, the candidate for election to the state legislature, as mentioned for the parliament. Okay, the member of state legislature, the judge of high courts. Now the fourth schedule, so TEAR, the fourth schedule is basically represented by R. So R means Rajya Sabha, the allocation of seat in Rajya Sabha. You have need to remember this one. Okay, and the fifth schedule, TEARS. So now which one of the following letter left? So S left. Okay, so S means schedule area. So fifth schedule deals with schedule area. Now the sixth schedules of, so O, so other schedule area. Now which of the following state are covered under the sixth schedule? So AMTM. Okay, you have need to remember this in this way, AMTM. Okay, Assam, Meghalaya district council, they have district council. Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. Assam has 3, Meghalaya has 3, Tripura has 1, Mizoram has 1. Mizoram has 3. Okay, so total 10 autonomous district council. Now we have the 7th schedule. So of we have F. ठीक है, तो F means federalism. So federalism, this article, that means these are deals with the list of the union and state. Okay, so 7th schedule deals the list of duty or the list of legislation, list of the elements, okay, on which center and state make their laws. Okay, so basically 7th schedule deals 3 lists. The list number 1, that is union list number 2 is state list, and the list number 3 is concurrent list. So presently we have the 98 subject, okay, in list 1, that is union list. Initially it was in the beginning 97, so one subject increase over the period of times. Similarly, the state list, which is deals under the list number 2, have 59 subject. Originally it have 66 subject, so total 7 subject are reduced over the time, over the period of times. The third list is, that is concurrent list. Concurrent list have 52 subject. Originally it have 47 subject, so total 5 subjects are added. Okay, and this is deals under the single article, that is article number 246. Now we have the 8th schedule. So tiers of old. Now we have again O. So what is mean by O here? Official language. Okay, O means official language. So we have total 22 language. Initially it was 14 language, which is recognized by the constitutions, but later on through the constitution amendment the number of language increased to become 22. Okay, so through the 21st amendment act, initially we have 14 language which is recognized by the constitutions. Through 21st amendment act we have added Sindhi, so total we have become 15. Now in 1992 we again add 3 language through the 71st constitution amendment act of 1992, which is Konkani, Manipuri and Nepali. And then again in 2003 through 92nd constitution amendment act we add 4 another language, that is BDMS. So I have remembered this as BDMS, that means Bodo, Dongri, Maithili and Santhali. You can also remember this by the mnemonics board mass, okay, which is basically used in mathematics. So board mass through the 92nd amendment act 2003. And one of the language, that is Uriya, so it's changed to become Udiya through the 96th amendment act of 2011. So you have need to remember this one because very oftenly this is asked by many examination. Now we have the 9th schedule. So 9 schedules. Now old we have L. 9 schedules, no, we have deal through L, the official language. Okay, old. So we have the, yes, 9 schedule. So we have the L, that means la which is present under the 9th schedule. Okay, so all those law which are present under the 9 schedules are not going to be challenged in any court. But after the Keshwanand Bharati case of 1973, it was said that all the judgment which are put, all the law which is put under this 9th schedule after the Keshwanand Bharati case are open to challenge. Okay, so you have need to remember this one as well. Now we have the 10th schedule. So we have which next letter in tiers of old PM, that is D. So 10th schedule deal with defections. D means defections. Defections were added through the 52nd Constitution Amendment Act to 1985. Okay, it is also known as anti-defection law. And deal under Article 102 for the Parliament and 191 for the state legislature. Okay, basically Rule 89. So 102 you have need to remember 102 and add 89 with this and become same for the state legislature through Article 191. Now we have the 11th schedule. So we have old happen. Now we have the 2, that is PM. 2 letter left, that is PM. So 11th schedule means P, that means Panchayat. Now 11th schedule for Panchayat, we have total 29 matters. Okay, and this schedule was added through the 73rd Amendment Act of 1992. We have discussed uh, this is earlier as well. Okay, and we have now 12th schedule, that is now the next later that's coming series is M, that means municipality. The subject matter under the 12th schedule is total 18 matters. Okay, and deal under the article 243W. So this all you have need to remember. So what is it here? 243G. So G here represent the number of subject matter which is present in the 11 schedules. Okay, similarly W is deals with the number of matter which is present under the 12th schedule. So that's why here instead of using the article 243, they have used article 243G and 243W. Now we have the next topic that is source of the constitutions. Okay, as we have read earlier that our constitution are framed after considering the constitutions of so many countries. Okay, so we are now going to see which of the following features are taken from which different countries. Okay, people are saying na ki our constitution is borrowed constitutions. So now we are going to see those provisions which are borrowed from other constitutions of the world. Okay, so the first one is Government of India Act. So all the features which we have taken from the Government of India Act, now we are going to discuss. The first one is federal scheme from Government of India Act. Office of Governor also from Government of India Act. Judiciary also from Government of India Act. Public Service Commissions through the Government of India Act 1935. Emergency provisions, so Government of India Act 1935. Advisory jurisdictions of the Supreme Court and administrative details also from the Government of India Act 1935. Now what is the features that we have borrowed from the British Constitution? So the parliamentary governments, the first one. Second one is rule of law, legislative procedures, single citizenship, cabinet systems, prerogative writs, parliamentary privilege, and bicameralism. The features which we have borrowed from the US Constitution is fundamental rights, independency of judiciary, judicial review, impeachment of the president, removal of the Supreme Court and High Court judges, and the post of vice president. Irish constitutions, we have the directive principle of state policy, nomination of member to the Rajya Sabha, and the method of election of president. Okay, we have to take the idea of president from the constitution of constitution of from where we have take the idea of this president. So we have take the idea from US constitutions. Okay, and the idea of election, matlab how to elect, method of election of president is taken from Irish constitutions. What is we have borrowed from the Canadian constitution? So federal with strong centers. Now look, federal systems we have taken from federal systems we have itself taken from the Government of India Act, but the concept of federation with a strong center we have taken from Canadian constitutions. Similarly, vesting of residuary power in the center and the appointment of state governor by the center. Okay, so who is going to appoint as a state governor is basically decided by the center, and this idea we take from Canadian constitutions. Okay, now Australian constitution, so we have taken from Australian constitution concurrent list, freedom of trade, commerce and intercourse, and joint sitting of the two house of parliament. Okay, we have now joint sitting of two house of the parliament when the simple when we have passed any simple any bill which is not constitution amendment bill. So we have the concept of joint sitting now. So this concept of joint sitting we have taken from Australian constitutions. Now what we have taken from constitutions of Germany. So emergency provisions relating to the suspension of fundamental rights. Okay, so emergency provisions relating to suspension of fundamental rights we have taken from Weimar Constitution of Germany. Okay, then Soviet USSR constitutions we have taken fundamental duties, ideal of justice, social, economic, and political in preambles. French constitutions, republic and ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity in preambles. Okay, South African constitutions, procedure for amendment of the constitution and election of the member of the Rajya Sabha. Japanese constitutions, procedure established by law. Okay, and due process of law we have taken from the US constitutions. So thanks. This is the end of our chapter number 4. Thank you.